welcome back to my channel. We're doing a Q&A today and we're going to beat our face. I'm bringing you a holiday look from Bobbi Brown. This video is in partnership with Bobbi Brown. You know I'm an ambassador, and we have a few holiday goodies to share. There's a very specific palette I want to show you, and that's what I'm going to do my eyes with, and I'll use all of my Bobbi Brown favorites. And I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, kind of like an end of year wrap up. We're going to go over, there's like, I think 4 categories. I tried to keep the questions in, you know, goals, personal, some finance stuff. We'll talk about a little bit of everything, but let's go ahead and get into the beat. I already did my brows because I think we all got the brows down at this point. So let's get into the makeup. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I lift your very chapped. All the items I use will be linked below. This is a Bobbi Brown lip tint, and I just need a little hydration. All right, first we're gonna start with the face base and eye base. If you've watched any of my videos, you know better already, but the eye base is good. Under eye primer, hydrates, moisturizes, just preps the skin. These are like, you know, face moisturizing products, but also makeup primers. Face base, same thing. I don't do my makeup without either one of these. We're gonna start with these, and I think we're gonna just get right into the nitty gritty and start with the finance questions. There's only like, I think 2 or 3, but I love answering these types of questions because people always want to know how you afford things, and I feel like there is just on social media so many things you can't trust, so many things that are not as they appear. One of the questions was, do I have any debt? This is a great question. I don't, but I did. So I talked about this, I think, in the last one. When I worked at Target, I always had debt, and debt was very normal to me. This is the foundation we're using, the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. I'm in shade Neutral Walnut. It's amazing. And a challenge I gave myself was before I quit my job to do this full time, to make sure I paid off all of my debt. I had credit card debt. So I did that, and then I started to save just so I could do this. I only have 1 credit card because I'm just not good with credit cards. And it's an American Express that you have to pay off every month. So I'm comfortable with that because I have no choice, you know, as far as like trusting myself with credit. And then as far as finances, I'm a very much like create routines so that I can be successful type of person. So like we have a financial advisor that kind of helps us, checks in, makes sure we're kind of like on the right track. And then me and Josh are very opposite. He's a saver, I'm a spender, so it helps keep things on like auto pay, make sure, you know, savings is on auto pay, all that kind of stuff to kind of like help me stay consistent with saving, investing, all those things. So no, currently any debt that I have is like on my American Express, and that's paid off every month. So yeah, that's the first question. This is my shade, here's how we're looking. The next question, I feel like I get this question a lot, is affording luxury. I also always talk about this because I never bought luxury things until I could afford it, and afford it in a way where if something happened to it or I lost it, I wouldn't be heartbroken. Like I could probably buy it again or replace it if I really loved it, and I wouldn't feel like it's the end of the world. I also only ever used like disposable income. So I don't really set a budget for myself, but obviously anything that I'm spending on luxury is because it's extra money. And same thing even when I worked at Target, I didn't start getting into luxury until I, 1, got promoted and started getting bonuses, which was just like, in my mind at that time, extra money. And I was starting to make money at, you know, content creation. So anytime I made, you know, work with the brand, when I had my other job, I just spent that money on whatever I wanted. So that's when I really started like buying bags from Fashion File and getting into luxury things. It was because, you know, that was just like extra free money closer. So here's what the base looks like. And again, this is the foundation I used in Neutral Walnut. I love this. This is a full coverage foundation, but I feel like it's very moisturizing. Again, hydrating. I have dry skin, and I feel like it gives a very natural finish, but still like the necessary coverage. Now we'll go in with concealer. I'm gonna use 2 shades like I always do. These are the Skin Full Cover Concealer. I use shade Walnut first, which is kind of closer to my skin tone. And then I use shade Warm Honey, which looks like this. The last finance question was just about financial goals. Not that I talked about goals last year, but a lot of people were curious if I had financial goals for this year, if I met them, if I made more money this year than I made last year. I always just assume these questions come from obviously curiosity, but also people just rooting for me. So I don't mind answering them. This year I did make more money, yes. And I feel like in life, the goal is always like, how much money can I make? I should make more this year. I should get another raise. But I told my manager that kind of like manages my campaigns at the start of the year. You know, we talked about goals. And I'm like, listen, I live a great life. I have everything I ever wanted. My goal is not, if I make more money, that's great. But money is not what's driving me right now. Again, working with the right brands, being able to create and be inspired and use my creativity, you know, work with my husband and just like enjoy life is a goal. So I actually did less like campaigns, worked with less brands, but did more, I don't know, fulfilling work this year. So I'm very, very happy with kind of like how that turned out by setting that type of goal. This is the lighter concealer. So I'm just gonna do this one right in the inner corner and then right there. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit so we get more coverage. And again, this concealer, just like the foundation, very natural finish, but still gives you the coverage you want. One kind of fun one, a lot of people asked about my car that we I think we did a reel on Instagram, the GV80, if we still loved it, how we felt about it. We love it, we still have it. That's, me and Josh share that car, and then Josh has like a sporty car. But we love it. It's just so nice. I feel like for the price point and the range of cars it's in, you get the most bang for your buck. It is a luxury SUV, but I feel like you get so much more for the price compared to like other SUVs in this category. Hope that makes sense, but I absolutely love it. I always recommend it to people. Could not recommend it more. My favorite trip so far this year was, well, this year, because the year's over, child. I ain't going anywhere else. It's so hard to say because there's like favorite ones for different reasons. I'm using the Bobbi Brown full coverage touch-up brush, which I also find gives you more coverage. So just FYI. I have to say Doha would be, you know, top 1 or top 2. Mainly because, and you should have already seen that vlog. I'll link it at the end if you haven't. I have to say that one probably because I feel like I gained the most knowledge, and just like anytime I go on a trip, I always learn something, or, you know, just come back with a different perspective on certain things. But that trip really, like, I just felt like put me in a different league, and not because of the trip, but just because of like how I want to move when I travel, how I want to show up for events, how I want to show up when I'm in a room with my peers, like how sorry, there's hair on my face. It made my expectations for myself higher. And then of course it was like a place, a part of the world I'd never been to. You know, me and Josh got to do it together and just like create amazing content. And you know, it was just it was from beginning to end, it was an amazing trip. The travel, the flight, the service, and the like work we were doing. So that one. And then I probably have to say Essence Fest, because again, I've always wanted to go to Essence Fest. I always had it as a goal, but I just it never worked out with timing, or I just felt like I didn't know what to do there, or, you know. And at the beginning of this year, I was like, I really want to go to Essence Fest. I want to figure out a way to make sure I'm there. So that was, I was really, and it just couldn't have been better. Like for my first time, being able to be like with girls from my agency, that it was just like so fun. It was work, but it didn't feel like work. It was just all the best things you could imagine. Everybody was just like in such good spirits. We all had deliverables to do and, you know, things to turn in and things to post, but it was still so much fun. Like we found the joy in every part of the job we were doing while we were in Essence. And then I got to meet so many people that follow me and support me. I met SWV, and it was just so many unreal moments, and just being surrounded by so many Black women just loving on each other. It was just Definitely, probably that would be number one for sure. Now that I'm even talking about it, I'm like, easy number one. Base, concealer, foundation. This is the palette that we're gonna be mainly using. Oh my God, look at her. That's also a highlight too, so we're probably gonna layer it. This is the Luxe Eye and Cheek palette. Oh, stunning. So we're gonna get into that. So let me powder. I'm gonna do bronzer. I'm using the bronzing powder in Deep from Bobbi Brown, perfect shade. And I'm gonna use this angled brush. Next personal question is, probably this year, I feel like last year and this year, a lot of questions on fitness. I touched on this in last year's Q&A. To just kind of like, you know, my weight always fluctuates. I'm always just trying to be happy with my body where it is. I talked about growing up in the, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. And just like how the media portrayed people anytime they gained weight or, you know, weren't a size 0. So I still deal with a lot of the effects from growing up in that time. I always tell people, this is the size I'm at right now is my normal average size if I am not overeating, which is just like, you know, fast food every day, just eating crazy. And if I'm moving my body in some kind of way, some type of active, you know, routine, working out, something like that. When I do nothing, I'm typically the size I was like most of like COVID quarantine type of time. And that varies from, I don't want to talk about weight because I get triggered myself and I don't want to trigger anyone else watching. But it's like a 15 to 20 pound difference up or down. And I've just been okay, or I've become okay over the years, knowing that that's going to happen. And sometimes I feel like, you know, being more active and doing something about it. And then sometimes I'm like, this is fine. I'm fine. This is fine with me. I'm still going to dress cute. Like, it doesn't matter. And then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't feel that great. I think I'm going to work out. At the start of this year, I keep saying this, but I saw a TikTok where someone said, however you lose weight, you need to be okay with doing that thing for the rest of your life. And that just did something to my like psyche because I could always, you know, quickly lose weight and keep doing this up and down thing. I could run every day on the treadmill and lose weight for a trip or something coming up. And I was like, but I can't do that forever. I can't eat chicken and rice forever. So how can I just be a little more consistent with myself? Because I'm also like, I don't like going in and out of my clothes, right? Where then I can't fit something, so then I'm giving stuff away, and then I lose weight, and then now stuff's too big, and I'm just flip-flopping. So that really hit a nerve in me. So at the beginning of the year, I just said, you know what? Let me just try to move my body a little more. What can I do every day forever? Move my body a couple days a week and just eat, not overeat, is basically. And that's when we started doing HelloFresh and just cooking. Like, we just ate fast food every day, basically. So we started doing HelloFresh and just like cooking a few times a week, not every day still, and we still don't every day. And we don't work out every day, but at least like 2 or 3 times a week. And it's been so slow. Where like, I feel like for the first 4 months, no one noticed the difference. And then suddenly in the last 2 months, everybody's like, oh my God, you look so small, you got so small. And I'm like, I haven't been doing anything differently since literally the beginning of the year, but it's just like people are starting to notice. So now we're going in with highlighter. And the last kind of like personal question was my proudest moment from this year. And that is easy. This is the Bronze Glow, sorry. My proudest moment is Josh being able to leave his job and work with me full time. It's such a, I feel like it's still sinking in. We talked about it for so long. If you guys don't know, Josh used to work at Red Bull. He loved his job. He was really good at his job. So we've been talking about it for a while, like the last 2 years. And it was kind of like, you know, there's a new launch happening, like the team needs him, like he doesn't want to leave yet. But also just having that even be an option. Like when we first started this thing, I don't want to get emotional, but this is the palette we're gonna go in with. I'll put the names on the screen, but I'm gonna use kind of this neutral all over my lid to start our holiday look. But this is the base. It looks stunning. So yeah, But when we first started this, I remember just saying like, man, I think if like you took my pictures every day, like this could be a job. Like I think like people make this their job. And he was like, okay, you know, we can try it and see. So like it finally happened. And I remember thinking like, man, we could like travel the world and take pictures. Like one day that would be so cool. And now here we are. Literally, like when we were in Doha, I was just like, we did it. Like we're literally here traveling the world, taking pictures, making content, like together. You don't have, you know, to get on a conference call, or you don't have to rush and cut the trip short to go home so you can go back to work. Or so that is definitely my biggest accomplishment. And, you know, for the both of us and for our futures. All the eyeshadow that I do, something I've been doing recently, I think I already shared this in the last video, but kind of like dragging everything out. I've been like elongating my eyes a lot. So I'm gonna do that here. And I think I'm just gonna use, this holiday palette has like every kind of shade you need. Should we go closer? Oh yeah. Oh. Let's see. Is that good? I think that's good. Okay. Wow, we're right. We're up in there. That's the first shade. I'm gonna use this dark color just in the outer corner. Oh, let me just use this so I can see. Let's use this dark color in the outer corner. And then we'll draw in our, and we're also gonna clean this up so it doesn't have to be perfect. Lots of questions around any tips or advice I would give someone that is just starting out. And it's gonna be, I feel like the advice I've always given, which is to be yourself, be authentically you. Take the time and invest the time to figure out what you want to share with the world. What's your perspective? What's gonna bring you joy? What is gonna drive you every day to be consistent? What's that thing? And then take the time to create and tweak it and be okay with things not working out and, you know, having to like pivot and shift in your niche, as opposed to using your time to just copy other people and see if that helps you pop off. Because it is so refreshing for people to find new and interesting things. And it's not a one or the other, right? Like we all follow so many people that are in fashion but do things so differently. And that's so much more interesting than just anytime I see someone or I come across someone who is clearly just replicating something I've seen before. It tells me there's no creativity here. How are you trying to do something creative every day by copying somebody else? That is my biggest tip. And it takes so much more work because the person you're copying is the one that has all the ideas. So you're always gonna be 1, 2, 3 steps behind. That's how you get the longevity. Up it up a little. Now we're gonna do our wing liner. I'm actually gonna use, this is another holiday palette. And I'm gonna use the darkest shade there. How pretty is that? This is the Jade Stone palette. And I kind of forgot about this color here, which I think would make a better liner than the purple. Because we're doing like a gold, bronzy, pinky, my favorite thing. The next question around content creation was, what do I think the future of content creation is? We're just going into the lash line, which is a great question. And I think it is getting back to, I feel like we always say authenticity, but like really. I feel like YouTube is about to be that girl again. I think people are just kind of, and I follow a lot of people that like predict trends and things like that. So this is where I've heard this stuff. But people are getting tired of like the quick, short content. And when they're finding people and creators that they love, they want more. So having another place for people to go, which, you know, if somebody finds you on TikTok, they love your, you know, 30-second video, they're gonna want more. They're gonna be, you know, just want to support you more, want to get more content, want to spend more time with you. So that's why TikTok has been like, they went to 1-minute videos and now it's 3-minute videos. But being able to go on YouTube and watch 15-minute, 30-minute, hour-long videos, that's gonna be the new thing. And the tactic for growth, I think, is gonna shift. It's already started to shift, but I think we're gonna see it a lot more with, like, even on TikTok. No, everybody really does like trends and dances and all that stuff is not really what's catapulting people's careers any longer. We're bringing the drama, sorry, I had to be quiet. And it's more about like showing your personality and people feeling like they're a part of something. So that is, oh, sorry, I can't even see John. That's what I think the future of content creation is. People want to be a part of something. People want to feel valued. They want to feel like you are creating for them. So just keeping that in mind. It is not about you. I always say this, but it is not about you when you're creating. It's about the value you provide. If you just want to show up online and look cute, you can do that. But making a career out of that is just so much more difficult. Ooh, look at the drama. That's the drama for me. And I'm kind of just like, we're gonna smoke this out, so it's not gonna stay this harsh. So that's what I'm, oh, yes, yes, you see that? God, I'm like a freaking beauty guru. Continue to build your platforms, but really think about how you're going to pivot your audience to a long form platform, and how you're going to show more of your personality if you don't already, and connect with people in some way. That doesn't have to be the same way someone else does. It doesn't have to be, you know, you being overtly bubbly, but it needs to be in your own way. All right, now we're gonna pretty much have the top done. We're gonna do the bottom lash line. I'm gonna put the same colors I put on the top on the bottom, and then we're gonna smoke it out and put some liner. And then we'll almost be done, I think. Oh, this is a good one. Birkin chat. How do I feel about, oh, can you see? How do I feel about people saying that Birkins are not fashion forward, not for wealthy people, that they're basic now, that everybody has them now? I'm going in with that same, this dark color here. How do I feel about that, basically? And my response is the same response I have to, like, when I get asked about trends, or like, how do I separate myself from people, or things like that. I don't care. I buy what I like because I like it. So it doesn't matter to me if everybody's wearing it, if nobody's wearing it. I don't care. And that's it. And honestly, it's taken me so long in life, and you know, the older you get, the easier it gets to have that mindset. But that's just how I move through life now with most things, which is why I don't mind trying things and failing. I don't mind, you know, not being good at something at first, because I don't care if people are gonna judge me. Eventually I'll figure it out. Like, I just don't let the opinions of others move me, good or bad. And that's something I've learned with being on the internet. I know this, I feel like this is like evolving into more than just Birkin chat, but it's just my mindset. Okay, so you see we smoked out the bottom, and now I'm going to do this little inner corner thing I've been doing, and I'm gonna use the same thing we use as the liner on top. But basically, I just cannot be phased one way or the other. I'm always grateful when people say nice things about me. If people love my bags or love my outfit, that is always great. But I also can't be too moved by it, because if I live and die on the nice things people say, I will live and die when they say negative things. I hope that's making sense. I gotta focus for this. The thing with the Birkins is, like, to me, a Birkin was just always, from watching Sex and the City, it's just the pinnacle of handbags. I've always loved handbags. When I started buying them from Target and when I worked at Aldo Shoes, and I bought them from there. And that was just always like the last place to go, you know, in your handbag journey. So I've always wanted one. So I got one. It wasn't any one particular person that I was like, ooh, that's why I want one. So I don't care if nobody is wearing them. I will wear mine. But I also have, you know, that's my reason for wanting it. So if that person, you know, if people stop wearing them, I don't really care. But what I do hate, while we're talking about it, since y'all brought it up, what I do hate is when people, hold on, I messed up a little. When people kind of make Birkins their personality. I have a lot of handbags, right? And I feel like the Birkin and Hermes in general is like the last place, right? The highest mountain, whatever. But it's also like, I like bags because to me, they are tools in fashion. So there's still other brands and other bags that I want. And I feel like sometimes when people start getting into Hermes, it's like no other brands exist. They stop buying other bags and it's just like, now that every bag they get is just a Birkin or something from Hermes. And I just feel like there's so many design houses that have really cool things. And I just think that's a shame. And it's just like, not as fun to just get those bags. So to me, those bags are very, like, you know, I only get really Birkins and they're very casual. That's like a, I need to dump everything in kind of bag, a travel bag, like I'm just lugging a bunch of crap around type of bag. So it's like, that doesn't fit with every look. So there's still other cool things coming out, or vintage things, or, you know, cool brands to shop bags from. And the whole point is for them to be a tool to utilize when you're putting the looks together. So I do hate that. Okay, moving on. I'm just gonna take the same dark liner and kind of just go in and line my under eye just to deepen it up a bit. And we're pretty much almost done. I have a new nude lipstick. It is of course from Bobbi Brown. We're gonna use this for the shimmer, and then we use this all over the lid. And then this one, I only used the brown color, so you could probably use any brown color. But this is one of the holiday palettes as well. It's the Jade Stone palette. But that was what I used for eyeliner. Because I prefer using shadow because it gives me more control. So if you're not good at liner, I suggest using a shadow. And it's just not as harsh. Blend, you know, you can blend different colors together easier. So let's add the shimmer and then we'll do lashes. So we're gonna go in with both of these. This is the main pop right here, but these two middle ones. And then I may even use the highlight here. Or maybe I'll just put the highlight on to highlight. We'll see. Fashion Week rankings. I am going to have to put, I feel like I have to give context with these. I would put Paris and Milan at the top, but for very different reasons. I feel like, no, not Paris and Milan, sorry, New York and Milan. New York because that's just where I get to see all of my people. All, you know, the people, the content creators and influencers that I love, that I watch, that I'm friends with. It's like a good it's just a good time. There's also a lot of the brands that I love are there. And it's just a good time, and I love being in New York. So it's just, you know, and I get the most jobs there, so I make the most money there. And then Milan because it's fast paced, but it's also very enjoyable. I love all of the brands. Like my favorite luxury houses are all like based in Milan. So I felt the most fulfilled, creative, you know, just like really in the zone of like fashion when I was there. And everyone was just so nice as well. And it was my first time, so I was not expecting that. And I just felt like everywhere I went, oh my God, look at the eyes. Everywhere I went, people were just so happy that I was there. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even that important. And you know, every, you know, show or viewing or presentation, like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming. Like, I'm so happy you're here. And I know those people didn't know me. So those two for that reason. Paris is the pinnacle and it is the hardest. So when I'm in Paris, it feels like work. It is a grind. That's where, you know, that's for the top tier, you know. So it's a lot of grind to try to like build those relationships, knock down doors, stuff like that. So it's just a little, and it's the longest one, it's the last one. So it's just like at the end, you barely got anything left in the tank and it's harder. So let me back out a bit since we're done with the eyes. I absolutely love them. I was just picking out my lipstick and then we'll be pretty much done. Oh my God, already done. Look how good does this look. I wanted to use this highlight in this palette. So let's just take a little, because she is lively. Oh, she has like a little pink iridescent. How cute is that? Okay, the last question, I think this will be the last one I really wanted to get to, which was my favorite Black designers. We talked about this before, but I have really made it a priority to find Black brands that just fit my aesthetic. Every brand is not for everyone, and I feel like this year I really honed in on the brands that just match my vibe. So I'd love to share them with you. One, I made it a priority during, store lip. The highlighter looks stunning. Put a little more on my nose. I made it a priority during New York Fashion Week in February, or no, not February, in September, to try to wear Black brands, like only Black brands. I don't think every outfit, but the majority were. So I'll pop up some pictures. I'm using this shade by Bobbi Brown called Buff. You know, I love a good nude. It's a little pinky. I think it'll be cute. And then a gloss. But I wore, oh, very cute. I wore Glam to the Glam show. He's one of my favorites. Very, just like staples, classic pieces, timeless, but with a little sex appeal. And he always does something that makes it a little extra, but it's also very like timeless. You know, I love that. I wore Hanifa, probably my all-time favorite. I just feel like me and her, like her design and me is just, Christopher John Rogers is probably my current favorite. His clothes are very, very expensive, but they are my favorite items of clothing I own. As far as how they are created, the quality, the design, the craftsmanship. I have three dresses, and every time I've gotten them all on sale. Oh, that's pretty. I've gotten them all on sale, and every time I get them, as soon as I get it in the mail and try it on, I'm like, I get it. I get it. That's why this costs as much as it does. The dress I wore during Fashion Week was the black one with the stripes at the top color. Absolutely love the white one I wore for my birthday. All of them have like boning that you can't tell is there, but you can, when you put it on, it feels like 100 people made it, and it took 100 hours. It's amazing. Who else? Oh God, now I can't think of them. I'll pop up more pictures, but those are probably my top three that I feel like I'm gravitating towards. Brandon Blackwood for bags for me. I just feel like, again, it's just my vibe. So I feel like I'm forgetting like a major person right now. Laquan, I wore him during Fashion Week, and I feel like he just is the sexy side of me. If I want to go there, I look for his stuff. It's just a little harder to come by because it always sells out, but those are my top for sure. Oh, let's put a gloss on. I'm gonna put on this crushed oil infused gloss, Bare Sparkle. I love this look. I love this look. All right, queens, this is the final look. All the Bobbi Brown products will be, of course, linked below. Make sure you check out their holiday palettes. Again, I used this one, which I just feel like you get almost every single thing you need. If you have like a black liner or a brown liner, you're good to go. And this, you're good. You can create so many looks for the holiday. Absolutely love that one. And then the other one I used, again, was this palette, but I really only used the dark color, but this could make a really pretty green moment, which I was on the fence about. But those are the two palettes I'll link below, along with all my other favorites, the foundation, the face base, and the eye base. I say it every time, but if you have not tried them yet, I need you to get it together. I need you to get it for the new year. I'm gonna need you to get on it. Face base, eye base, the foundation. It's the only foundation I use almost ever now. It's buildable, it looks natural, it looks good in pictures, it looks good in person. I could go on and on, but all my favorites will be below. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the Q&A was fun. Hopefully I can get this down in 30 minutes. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.